Objectification by Martha C. Nussbaum. What is objectification? In short, objectification is treating a person as an object. Nussbaum analyzes the moral standing of objectification. In this writing, the name of the game is context. According to Nussbaum, objectification is not always morally objectionable. She gives several literary examples of objectification in the beginning of the reading, which I'll come back to later. She boils objectification down to 7 categories. Instrumentality. The objectifier treats the object as a tool of his or her purposes. Denial of autonomy. The objectifier treats the object as lacking in autonomy and self-determination. Inertness. The objectifier treats the object as lacking in agency and perhaps also in activity. Fungibility. The objectifier treats the object as interchangeable with other objects of the same type or with other objects of other types. Viability. The objectifier treats the object as lacking in boundary integrity, as something that is permissible to break up, smash, or break into. Ownership. The objectifier treats the object as something that is owned by another, that can be bought, sold, etc. Denial of subjectivity. The objectifier treats the object as something whose experience and feelings, if any, need not be taken into account. Whether any one of the 7 are morally good or bad depends on the context that it happens in. However, she states that instrumentality might always be a problem. Now coming back to the literary examples, she greatly favors the excerpt from D.H. Lawrence's The Rainbow. She takes D.H. Lawrence's work as not necessarily being harmful because it is mutual. She then takes the reading The Swimming Pool Library by Alan Hollinghurst as another example of how objectification is not always morally bad. Yet again, the mutuality of the objectification makes it not morally objectionable. If it is mutual, the boiling down to a person of just their body, or an object, more or less, can even be good and enjoyable for both parties, if there is no inequality or hierarchy between the two. However, there were some readings where objectification is morally objectionable. The Playboy piece where the actress is portrayed playing tennis with the caption, "Why We Love Tennis." This is an example of where fungibility is morally objectionable. The woman is treated as an object that is interchangeable. It doesn't matter who the tennis player is, she is only valued for her body as an object. She also takes issue with sadomasochism. She sees it as something that in its nature will always breed inequality and treat one person or the other as an object. In her mind, this violates almost every one of the 7 ways to treat a person as a thing. She then cites Kant, who believes that all sexual impulse leads to objectification. Kant says that sexual impulse blinds a person to the agency of the other. Kant surmises that marriage is the only way to end this objectification. This is where Nussbaum strongly disagrees. It is not sexual impulse that causes objectification, but hierarchy that leads to inequality. She then goes on to say that objectification goes beyond sex. She analyzes the Marxian critique of capitalism to show this. She states that in Marx's writings, it proves that also workers are objectified. In Marx's work, capitalism steals the workers of their autonomy. They are treated as inert. Workers are also treated as replaceable, and that their feelings or thoughts are never taken into account. She uses this to prove her point that sexual impulse is not the cause of objectification, but inequality is. To boil this piece down to its essence, sexual objectification is not always morally bad, and it is not always morally good. It all depends on the context that it takes in and if there is mutuality.